Thank you so much for tuning in to the Spotlight Point Show. So we invite you to season 2 of the Spotlight Point Show. So my name is Konditi and I'm your host today.
Hello, my name is Francis Gikufu. I'm really excited to be here. Season 2, the first episode, amazing guest, amazing topic, amazing day. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah, that's right. And to that other side.
Hi viewers, hi everyone. I'm so much excited to be here and this show will be so amazing, so great. We're gonna educate you and it's gonna be awesome.
So today we are at Lavage Cafe and it's in South Bay. Yeah, so we're just amazing. And the reason why we're here today, we just want to jump right into it, is because today marks the World Menstrual Hygiene Day. And we're here with amazing guests, and they'll also just get an opportunity to introduce themselves, starting from here.
Hello viewers, this is Amos Otiego. I'm happy to be here, to be hosted by this amazing team, and hoping to at least talk more and enlighten our viewers on menstrual hygiene, considering today is Menstrual Hygiene Day. And don't forget the theme, action and investment.
Yes.
Now. It has to begin now.
Sure.
No more excuses. Thank you.
The next guest.
Well, thank you very much, and good morning to every viewer. Thank you very much for viewing this show. My name is Wafula Samuel, and I'm the co-founder of Alive 365, whereby we offer hygiene education through hands-on experience. I am very glad and happy to be part of this show, considering that today is a World Menstrual Hygiene Day. I am so much happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to share my insights and also learn more regarding this show. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, our amazing guest. Thank you, team. And I'm really looking forward to the conversation. And to begin it with, menstruation, whenever it's mentioned, many people regard it as taboo. People don't want to talk about it. Communities, go to the slum, go to the rural areas, go to even outside Kenya. Women are struggling. In Kenya, women form over 50% of the population. So we are talking of millions and millions of people that are being disregarded. I feel they shouldn't be disregarded. This issue is no longer an issue that we need to put under the table and bury our head on. Like the past years and all that. We are now in a new century. We need to action whatever we've been speaking, and we need to make every woman feel comfortable, every girl feel comfortable and know that this is not something that can't be spoken about. It's actually a human right.
Yeah, it's a human right. So, when we were coming to the show today, Mr. Francis, we were with you and we saw a tweet. And it was very disturbing because we just learned that in the days of old, ladies, they used to dig holes. Some of them, they used to dig holes in the ground and sit on it so that, when the menstruation comes, it just goes down and so that the earth can absorb that. Yeah, it's a story that I'd heard before it was one of these, I don't know if it was either CNN or Al Jazeera that had aired it. And to me, back then, it looked like these guys are just really exaggerating this. So when it resurfaced today, it just really got me thinking about that. So maybe you can just start from there. Like, how has hygiene improved and how has all this poverty been alleviated?
In my view, maybe we've not educated people enough, so that we have stigmatized the menstrual hygiene. In the rural areas, you realize children during that period, the girls don't even go to school because one, they are insecure, they feel filthy, they don't look, for them they are not clean, they should not be together with people. What if we told them that it is something that is we were created that way. A lady is created to go through menstrual period once a month. If we only taught our girls, and also there are cultural practices that during menstrual period you are regarded unclean. What if we only taught them and educated them on the benefits of making this not become a taboo, not making this not become a stigma, so that these girls don't sound They are not regarded as unclean. Yes.
Wow. All right. I think girls are not really educated. There's still that, what do we call it? There's that literacy. It is there, and it is so shocking, because you may think right now, the life that we are living right now, everyone is enlightened, but it's not. That's not true. Actually, there are people who don't know how to handle themselves during menstrual periods. There are girls out there. Yes, they have access to the pads, but they don't know how to use it wisely. And some can't even afford these pads. Hence, making these girls or the women stay in the house in private places until 5 days or 7 days are over. And this brings stigmatization, because when you isolate yourself, you're so lonely, and it kind of brings loneliness. So someone feels like, I don't belong to the society, because right now, during that period, you have to isolate yourself and remain alone. Hence, you're missing a lot out there, because everyone, I believe, we have dreams. How about our dreams? When I'm locking myself for the last 7 days, it means a lot. If I have a business, it has to stop. If a girl is in school, she's losing. And remember, she's competing with a male child who is consistently in school. So there's a lot that is happening. There's loss. After every 7 days in a month, there's a loss that a girl child goes.
Okay, so I just want to rewind a little bit. There's this. Yesterday, I was looking at some of the videos for a World Menstruation Hygiene Day, and I noticed like most ladies or most girls, they are not aware of this of menstruating. Like it's a biological process that they'll have to go through every month. So why is it that most parents, they're not really taking up this initiative of maybe educating the kids and telling them, like, you know what, when you reach at this age, you are going to start experiencing this? Because some of them were even thinking that they had blood cancer. Yeah.
So I echo whatever Amos said in the beginning, that number one thing is people are not willing to talk about it. Parents are not willing to sit down with their girls and tell them, you know what, when you get to this age, and some even start as early as 8 years, at this age, you're going to start experiencing changes in your body. And one of the things that this will tag along is like quote unquote bleeding. Now, if parents are not willing to talk about it, then go to the siblings, go to the neighborhood. If you find, like, I love the setup today. Majority of us are men seated here. Men are not willing to even buy a sanitary pad for either their sister, either their parents, or any other person, even whomever they are dating. So we have coded the whole thing to be unclean, to be dirty, to be a taboo, to be is something that looks so weird to even experience. Imagine somebody experiencing it for the first time, and then you are not prepared, you didn't have the pad and all that. What happens? You start seeing blood stains. The next thing you think of, hey, what's happening? Am I sick? And all that. So if we begin to talk about it, if we make it normal, if just like breathing, just like talking, that's how we are supposed to take menstruation. That's how we are supposed to empower our women and girls, so that they stop being ashamed. Most cases, go to a supermarket. in that section, you find people are taking it and they are more of trying to hide it, and then at the cashier or in any shop that you visit.
Yeah, let me just interrupt you right there. Because, there was this time that I was actually buying it for someone, yeah? And people are really looking at me like, hey, why are you buying pads? That kind of facial expression, like, why are you buying pads this much? Yeah, so it was just disturbing.
So I want to finish on this point. So we need to normalize it. We need to make it be like you're buying bread. You're not supposed to be hiding it or covering it on a newspaper. We're supposed to make it known that this happens. It is normal. It is cool. Actually, period is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period is cool. So, on to our guest over there. So, maybe you can just tell us about your initiative, because today is all about hygiene. Yeah, so you just tell us about how your foundation is dealing with hygiene.
Once again, Alive 365 is all about offering hygiene education through hands-on experience. Yeah, we operate in informal settlements because I remember when we were doing our market research, we came to realize that there are so many cases of hygiene-related diseases in informal settlements, and this affects the children so much as well as their parents, because you'd find that the hygiene-related diseases would cause them not to attend school. And this would even cause parents to spend a lot of money to cater for the medication of the children. For example, if they want to buy tablets for the child who has stomach aches, and also this would also affect the school. Because when you go back to the school, they cannot attend school. This would reduce their marks, and also reduce the total grade of the school. So when we were doing our market research, we came to realize that the problem is the knowledge gap on proper hygiene and sanitation. Yeah, as you've mentioned, people are not willing to talk about it. So we came to realize, as much as they are not talking about it, they are not aware about hygiene. They really don't know about hygiene. So we thought of a way that we could offer hygiene education in a way that is effective for these children. Yeah, and we said, okay, we have educational methods for hygiene that are being offered by the Ministry of Education and by other NGOs. But the question that we were asking ourselves is it effective? So we came to realize, we tested the method, and we came to realize, yes, they are being taught in their science class, but when you look to their daily lives, it is not reflecting. So we came to realize, actually, guys, this method is not effective. So we thought of methods, educative methods that would be fun and interactive, and for children actually to learn on proper hygiene in a fun and interactive way. So in relation to that, we were able to develop board games, dances. We have a unique dance called Kanyaga Jumps, whereby it's in English for global viewers. In English it means you step on the jumps as you dance. So it's really an interesting game whereby actually children are able to learn from each other as they dance. So that is currently what we're doing.
Wow, that's so great. And I want to bring in Mr. Amos. These educative methods, you see, Alive 365 has already started out with these educative methods for enabling the children to step out of those germs and hygiene issues. So how is this relating to the to those educative methods? Which one are available for women to implement during this hygiene time?
Actually, I will go back to maybe even the religious perspective of menstrual. You go to Leviticus and you're told a woman who has a discharge will be unclean for 7 days. And anyone who touches that person will also be unclean until the evening. You realize this situation has been stigmatized so much, even in the Bible, that even if you go to culturally, go to even the Hindus, you will not go into a temple if you're not, if you're not.
If you're in that period.
But this is biological.
Yesterday, actually, let me interrupt you. Yesterday, I saw there are some posters that these temples make that there is no coming into the temple when you're menstruating. Yeah.
And then it is not your fault that you're menstruating, it's biological. So I allowed my brother for coming out with simpler ways of just making sure that the girls understand that it is not a death sentence. What if we began by talking to our girls from a young age? Because there are situations where this girl only knows about menstruation period when they start attending. What if they knew before they began attending? What if they knew about menstruation period before they began attending? Because you realize even a girl who begins attending menstruation period will not tell their parent that they're doing that. Because they don't believe that something should come out of them at that particular age. Yes.
Just before you go to Jacinta, you're talking of something coming from inside them. I think the only thing that girls are told, which appears normal, is that you're going to be pregnant one day. You're going to be a woman. You're going to be doing cleaning and cooking. Why don't we introduce it from the home setup to the school? Because as Jacinta said, girls are having unfair playing ground with boys. So the competition level in school, where if I can't afford to buy, if I don't understand what menstruation is all about, I will end up missing classes. And you end up missing classes, count it in a year, count it in 8 years in primary or secondary school and university. Then we want to talk of gender equality. We are missing the mark. It has to start from this simple message that it is normal. There is nothing abnormal about it. So it has to be a human right issue. We need to advocate for it. We need to have men stepping out there and saying enough is enough.
Just like the other day, the other day I met these girls and they are just 10 years old. Then one of them began menstruation. And believe you me, the entire class was in a shock because the girl was like, oh my God, come and see. I'm bleeding. What do I do? And she attracted the entire class and everyone wanted to know, hey, what is happening? Until a class 8 pupil came in and noticed what was happening, and she was like, hey, you've grown. This is what you need to use. You see, and that girl was really covered. Actually, at the end of the day, she was safe. She didn't soil her dress because a girl, a elder sister, came for rescue. If only we could educate these girls, and as early as even 8, let them know what they expect, because anything can happen. Actually, and this will really help. It won't be a shock. It will not be a surprise when that time comes. And it will really help our girls because they will always be prepared. And parents, I think there's this lack of bond. Parents are not bonding with their kids. That's why you find mostly there's fear between a child to open to a mother or to a dad. They start fear. They really don't want to open up and speak out. This is what I'm going through. When that time comes, this kid will just go and tell, Mommy, I need a 50 bob. Then Mommy gives out 50 bob. They don't know where this 50 bob is going, or whatever they are going to do with the money. So let's educate our girls. Let's bond. Parents should bond with kids and even teachers, because teachers are our second parents. Yes. Yeah, they should also bond. And when this thing, when it happens, let's walk these kids a journey. And let them feel safe. Let them feel safe in our hands as teachers. Yeah.
We have solved fear in regards to menstrual hygiene, because we tell these girls when this happens, you can get pregnant. No one gets pregnant by menstruating. If only we told them the right information, that this is a biological process. It is normal to menstruate. But then tell them, if this doesn't come, maybe it's also linked to sexual sex education, because it's like we are told, all these girls are told, if you menstruate, you're going to get pregnant. Now, they are always afraid. They will not even say that they are menstruating, because they were told initially that if you have menstruation, you'll get pregnant. Yes.
And you know, I think Amos will agree with me. Some of the initiatives that we have, like talk of Mukuru Angaza Film Academy, where we started girls clubs within the primary school, going children, and also we have a program called FEAR, Face Everything and Rise Initiative, that Jacinta spearheads. So, and also I also like what Alive 365 are doing. So all of us, we are beginning to do something. We are beginning to communicate. We are beginning to create awareness. We are beginning to make people understand that we can talk about it. But now, we also need to look at the other level. Now, we talk about it. Then, for those who can't afford, like people from Narok, the remote places and all that, are we having people selling this commodity? What is the pricing? Then, come to the slum, come to Mukuru slum as a good example. Most people now are aware of it, even if they don't talk about it. But can they afford to buy the pads? People are still using, at this time and age, they are cutting blankets, yes. They are cutting mattresses. And then you end up at times saying, let me buy pads for them. Then you find a girl telling you, why are you giving me this pad? Yes, you told me that I use it on a panty, you know, during these couple of days and that. Then I don't even have a panty. If they have, Jacinta, remember there's a time we met a lady who said, I only have one, and it's already torn, so I can't even place the pad the way you guys are telling me to. So you find there's a lot that needs to be addressed. I think from policies, you know, to the pricing, then to people coming together and pulling resources. Like for us, what we do, we normally invite people to donate pads and panties. And I want to appreciate at this point Making More Health through Manuela Pastor and Sabine Emrich. They've always ensured that our account does not run dry. We have pads, we have panties to give, because you can't even tell somebody who can't even afford food to go and spend 50 Kenya shilling, that's half a dollar, to go and buy pad. You know, where are we placing our priorities? So we need to take it even beyond there, talking about it, preaching it in school, talking about it in churches, and then get to the practical actioning. How do we get every girl getting a safer period and using hygienic means? Because that's where now Alive 365 is coming in, because girls and women are getting infections. So how do we go about it? Maybe Amos then
yeah,
to
I think,
the hygiene master.
we have to go into a multi-sectoral approach where we involve the NGOs, we involve the government, because for now, when there's a time the government said, okay, we'll be providing pads to the school-going children. But then you bring pads for 1 month and go away for 9 months, you're not helping these children. So an organization that I work for, We World Kenya Foundation, we started distributing pads monthly. But this is not enough if the government cannot help us. If the government doesn't come in, even set up policies. For example, I ask myself, why should the children or the girls be made to buy pads when the men are given condoms free? Really, it is absurd. Okay, then let us give pads for free and sell condoms. Yeah?
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. So we have to come together as a community, from the home, the basic, to the church, to the NGOs, to the government. It has to be a priority, because there are girls who don't go to school because during that period they are regarded as unclean. There are girls who can't afford the pads. They go and meet the border guys who can provide the next month, because this month you've provided for her the pads. the next month, what will you be doing? Will you be sleeping with her? The next month you will not be buying because this girl is pregnant.
I actually agree with you, and it's not only boda guys. Men, we need to wake up. I don't know what has happened to our brains. We think that there has to be payment for every deed that we do. So you find girls like in the slum. I have seen quite a good number. And actually, to give even an actual statistics, out of 5 girls that will go for help to get this pad, 3 of them will be pregnant within the next couple of weeks after their periods. Wow. Because you go back to pay. You have to pay me for buying for you that pad. Now, you see, this is not solving it. This is actually now challenging our girls and women even further. So we end up looking at them and seeing someone becoming a mother at the age of 10. What happens to the future of that child is totally destroyed. Yeah. We need to wake up.
Yeah, and you know, this year, as Amos has said, the theme is action and investment, right? So how can, you know, all these that you're talking about are actions. Like, for example, the way you've said that people always, some of them at this stage, they're still using mattresses, blankets. And you know, once they use this, they always wash them and go and store them. Some of them even hide it so that people don't see that, you know, this is what I'm doing. So wherever you're storing them there, it will become damp. And then when you use it again, you know, you'll develop infections, you know, and all that sort. So what investments can we make? Because you've also mentioned, Mr. Francis, about the making more health. Yeah, they've always, you know, supported these initiatives. So are there any other organizations like maybe yours, We World and all that? So what is the plan for investing in these?
In my view, if we really want to help this situation, one, let us make a sustainable approach. Let us go into a sustainable approach. We have children in the rural areas, the slum, the rural areas and the slum, people who cannot afford. How about if we, instead of buying for them, we create employment within those surroundings? We have caregivers. Let us come up with caregiver groups. Let us teach them how to make mats. They can sell the mats. How to create kitchen gardens. They can sell them burgers. Because we will not be feeding them forever. We will not be giving them forever. Let us make it sustainable. Yes, I have given you fish, but tomorrow I will not be there. Do you know how to fish for yourself? If we went that way, we will be going towards eradicating the stigma that is associated with the menstrual health, because we will have people who are apparent that is enlightened. I have already taught you the importance of menstrual health. I've already given you an opportunity to fend for yourself. Why can't you buy the pads for your child? I will not be having any excuse.
And just to add on that, what Amos has said, we can also train them to make even reusable pads, because they are available. And everyone, if we teach them on how to make them, can you imagine in a society if we have 2, 3, 4, 5 women knitting these pads? Imagine it will solve a problem for a bigger number.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just want to echo that, then I give it back to you. On that reusable pads, we have the washable ones that Jacinta is talking about. Also, we have the menstruation cup. These can solve the problem because you can use it over and over and over again. So this also could be sustainable, and the sustainability is really, really key. Yes.
So I was just about to bring a live 365. Yeah, so you know, like how there's been investments, for example, like for the pads, there are various organizations that are investing in that. So how about like you in the sphere that you are in right now? Are there other investors that you have that helps you out with the hygiene for the kids?
I would echo Francis on that. We've also been privileged to work with Making More Health. They have been able to help us since 2019 and even now moving forward for us to make this happen, because it's easier said than done. So I'm very happy that they help us actualize whatever that we want to do. So since 2019, we've been having Making More Health, which has been helping us. But that should not be the case, that you're thinking that one organization should help you. I believe there are so many other stakeholders that should be involved, because when we think of this industry of hygiene or in this space, there are so many stakeholders that are involved. We have the government, we have NGOs that are originally in this space. So I believe that collaboration maybe is a way that social impact can be created easily. So I believe that when these people can be able to partner, or rather co-create with each other and look, hey, we have a problem here. How can we come together and collaborate as stakeholders to help us mitigate this process? And I believe it's not just about awareness, as he has talked. You also need to know how to fish. So I believe as this conversation is being talked about, I believe that it is really important for change agents to be created, whereby everybody should be an ambassador of this topic. I believe people can be change agents. I believe all of us are change agents in this topic. So I believe that when I pass this information to another person, he or she should go to another person, where the other person should also go to another person to pass the same message. Yeah.
Wow.
And allow me bring Jacinta back for a moment. Jacinta, you're here, you're representing the girls and women. I would want you, because it will be even a bigger sin if you don't also talk to those who are experiencing it for the first time, for those who do not have the know-how, they've been hiding under the table. So, like, what is it all about? Like, could you paint a picture and like the steps or the things that a woman or a girl needs to focus on during this period?
Okay, well, there are a few points that we should know as women and girls. When during menstruation, you need to take care of your body, and these are the ways that you should do. When you go to bathroom, take time, clean yourself. As in, don't come out, don't rush, don't be in a rush when you get to bathroom. Take time there, wash yourself, clean yourself so well, and remember, we don't use soap. It's not recommended when we are taking bath, because these are parts that it's called HP can't accommodate these the soap, the detergents that we normally use. So that is one way that we should put into consideration and avoid soap, but take shower with cold water, and clean yourself so well. Make sure you're very clean. Another thing, when after using your panties, when you wash it, please dry it under direct sunlight. With that, it will assist us not to, it will assist someone not to be infected because of with infections, And another thing, pads should be changed regularly. You're not supposed to use one pad for a whole day. The flow of blood with this pad, it has some chemicals, whatever has made the composition yenye imetengeneza the pad, it can cause cancer when you use it for a longer period. So you should change frequently. At least change for like 3 times a day, if you can if you can. And you can also give yourself a break if you're not going to school, either to work. You can stay free. You can use something like a tissue, because that one will give you a break, a breather. It is a breather. So you're not always congested. And when you take shower, you should apply oil, because these are parts that are very sensitive. You should apply oil and make your skin soft. Because of that heat, it can bring some irritation or even rash. Yeah, so these are just a few points to educate someone out there. Yes, and I hope itatusaidia.
Yeah, that's right. So, today, as we said, we're at Lavage Cafe in South Bay, and that's why you'll hear maybe the environment is kind of, yeah, because today, today we are not in the studio. Yes, but now I want to also ask you, Jacinta, you've only mentioned about pads. So, are there other ways of managing this flow of blood apart from pads?
Oh, apart from pads, yes, that's why I mentioned tissue paper, which is not so healthy and it's not so safe for you when you're going out or when you're during your busy schedules. And again, we have menstrual cups, and it is really amazing. And this one, it's recommended for the grown-ups, not school girls, because they are still tiny. And yeah, so and they are virgins. The way to insert it, it's a process. It is a process, and you have to fix it so well so that you may not mess up, because if you don't fix it so well, you may find it messing you up.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think I would also emphasize to our viewers and our listeners, like even the way we communicate about menstruation, let's make it cool. Let's not make it like sound as something that you need to be quiet about. You need to kind of lower your voice a bit when you're talking about it. And menstruation is not a women and girls alone issue. It is our issue, both male and female. We need to come together. We need to team up. We need to address this situation, and we need to make sure that if you're walking in town or in the village or in a slum, and you spot maybe a young girl or a woman, and you see like bloodstains, don't kind of humiliate her. Just get away to get to know how you could probably help, because some of them, maybe they don't know, maybe they can't afford. So we need to come together and make this a reality. And I don't know, maybe Amos, you can give us a few or one or two instances or things that you've encountered while working in the rural areas when it comes to menstruation.
Yeah, there's several, because when you're down there, not many people understand. People are still into that culture where you see a girl undergoing menstruation and she's unclean, and you realize these girls are withdrawn. They are withdrawn. During that time, they don't even associate with others. During that time, they don't even come to school. And some, mostly when it does happen when you're in class, they will be laughed at. And when you're laughed at during that period, the next period you will not come to school. You've lost. There are situations you find a girl maybe at break time, they're sleeping somewhere away from people. Maybe, it's in the rural and there are big trees, and find someone sleeping under a tree, and you're wondering what is the problem, only to realize that maybe they are undergoing that.
During menstruation, there are also other challenges that come along, because you find that these girls or women who have AV flows, and some are in, they have crabs. a very severe pain, as in during period. Yes, you can afford the pads and you have panties, but the pain is so crazy, you know. Okay, during this, if use is so severe, you can seek medical attention, and if use it's not that really severe, then you can use painkillers like brufens, and and just to avoid not to use so many drugs, you can, if you're good in milk, milk works amazingly. You can boil a glass of milk, let it cool down, then you take it when it's cold. It will relieve that pain. Just do it repeatedly mpaka umalize, until your periods are over. It really works so well. Yes.
Wow, that was the next question that I was really going to ask. Yeah, because there's sometimes that you hear someone, or maybe you're hanging out with a girl and then she's having headaches and you don't really understand until when now you hit your sixth sense, like, oh, yeah, it could be that time of the month, yeah. And then that pain, I always wonder, hey, pain, it's just natural in the process, right?
It's natural. It's really natural. Very natural. It shouldn't scare you. So just be cool. Be at ease. After that, it will just disappear. And if you have heavy flows, we have different types of pads. Don't go just for normal pads. Go for heavy duty, Yes, and it will serve you so well. And I think it's the same price. It's the same price, but the size, it's only, that's where you get, yeah, it's different. So sort out yourself so well.
All right.
Yeah, we have short, we have long, we have panty liners, and they all serve same purpose, because we even have these girls who have just tiny, it's just few drops, and the day it's over. You don't have to go for the heavy duty pads. You can use a panty liner and you're sorted. It's just as simple as that. As in,
Yeah. So, just before that, I'm just so happy about this, because even right now, we are trying to embrace this and to understand it. Because in the past, boys were kind of shy. Like me, I remember while I was growing up, we didn't really understand this, especially in class 6. Yeah, there was a time that the teacher would skip that topic, like you are trying to get into that reproductive health topic, but then the girls themselves, they're not bold enough to talk about it. And even the teachers, they skip the topic. Yeah, so right now, even in this set, right now, we are like 4 men, Yeah, and there's one lady here. And, it's just a way to show that we're really embracing this. And just to tell the teachers out there that it's your responsibility to just go there and talk about it. Don't fear nothing. Don't say that it's a taboo, because there's some cultures that say, like, when you're menstruating and you touch yourself or you wash your vagina, then it means that you're having what? You'll be infertile. Yeah, like in Afghanistan, that's what they believe. Yeah, and also, like there's some cultures that say they really value these menstruating women, but they're very few. Yeah, so you had a point.
Yeah, there's a bit that you're also missing. The bit of emotional point of the menstrual period. You realize that is
It's so true.
yeah, that's when you get grumpy ladies. As a boyfriend, some of us who are not married, they generally don't want to talk to you. And you wonder, what did I do wrong?
Exactly, yes.
No, you didn't do anything wrong. It is just that time of the month.
Yeah.
So as men, we should also understand that it's not always rosy during that time.
Before you even finish up, I say myself and Sam, we are just laughing because of some of the words that are coming out, like it's that time of the month. And I just remembered in the slum, ladies are fond of using Mama Shiro to, to kind of talk about.
In a nice way, they
Yeah.
package it nicely.
Yeah, so there's a time I used to ask myself, and who is this Mama Shiro? That they keep talking about. So I'm finding the fun part of it. I'm finding that it's not supposed to be that. We can actually see the beauty and the fun of it, and make every girl, every woman out there to know that you are not alone. Like, let's be there. Like Amos, you're saying, some of us are newly married, and we are walking that journey. And let me assure you, there's that time that you wonder, why is she behaving this way? So let's be there for every person. As teachers, let's be there for the girl child in the class. Don't just throw them away. Don't just give them this punishment simply without understanding. Try to walk to that level and get to relate with a person deeper.
Yeah. So I think time is really far much spent and we have to cut this out. But I'm just excited because this conversation, I know it is very resourceful to most of you, the viewers and also the listeners. And we just want to reiterate once again that you're in South B, we're at Lavage Cafe. And, when you're in South B, hanging around South B, yeah, be sure to drop in here and have some nice coffee, nice cakes, nice cookies. Yes, yes, yeah. So maybe now we'll just go maybe 30 seconds each, a parting shot from this end. Just wishing our listeners and our viewers a happy menstruation hygiene day. Yeah, starting from.
Okay, for me, what I would tell you is don't be afraid to talk about this issue. Talk it to someone, because as they were talking, I was just thinking of a case whereby we have a daughter who has a single dad, and maybe the men out here have not been so much interested to learn about menstrual health. I believe this is a conversation that we should have, as like a football match, or how Chelsea beat Man U, or how a football match was. This is a conversation that we should have between men, and also women and women. So be a change agent and speak out this thing. Thank you.
And to our men, if you are sent to buy pads, please don't shy away. It is just normal. And another aspect to the ladies, avoid succumbing to pressure of the cravings during menstrual period. You can eat things that you are not supposed to be eating. Kindly take good care of yourself, take good care of your menstrual health. It is not a death sentence to the young ones. It is a biological process. Let us embrace it and come together and help each other. Thank you very much.
All right.
Viewers, I heard you all. Let's all unite, come together, and fight this monster called period poverty. Thank you.
Wow, and as my co-host has said, period poverty. Today, we are stepping on you like Kanyanga jams. We are stepping on you, and we are declaring an end. Because even as a team here, we are going to be donating pads and panties to children that are in primary schools within the Mukuru informal settlement. And this is a gift that has come a long way, all the way from partners like Spotlight Point Show, here we are, partners like Making More Health, and other friends to Mukuru Angaza. I'm really excited, and I'm looking forward to getting to the field and being with our girls and carrying pads and saying, hey, it's like a loaf of bread. Thank you.
Nimkate, by the way. So, I used to say, like, this is a loaf. Yeah. So, speaking of period poverty, we've talked a lot, but the major thing is that most people are not able to afford this pad. So, if we are able also to implement the initiatives such as making reusable pads, it will be there for a long-term period, and it will help millions of girls out there. Also, I want to urge people to just stay financially empowered, because when you have financial empowerment, then it means that you're able to tackle these things. You're able to buy pads at the same time. You're able to buy the cups, menstrual cups, and the panties and all that. So that's it from us at the Spotlight Point Show, and we'll encourage you to share and continue this conversation on our social media platforms. And you can also leave a voice note at our Spotify account and also Anchor FM, because we are distributed across even Apple Podcast. So you can get us over there. And it's been a pleasure, and I love you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye.